In the labyrinth of human existence, the quest for mental fortitude and clarity emerges as a beacon for those daring to navigate its twists and turns. The journey towards cultivating an invincible mind is not for the faint-hearted. It demands an exploration into the depths of our psyche, a re-evaluation of our values, and an unwavering commitment to self-discipline. This odyssey, rich with ancient wisdom and modern insights, beckons us to uncover the philosophical secrets that lay the foundation for a life of stoic calm, disciplined action, and serene detachment. At the heart of this expedition lies the profound wisdom of Carl Jung, who invites us to embrace the darkness within. Jungian psychology posits that our shadow, those aspects of ourselves that we deny or repress, hold the key to our self-discovery. By confronting our inner darkness, we embark on a transformative journey of integration, bringing to light the full spectrum of our human experience. This process is not merely an act of introspection, but a bold step towards wholeness, where the acknowledgement of our imperfections becomes our greatest strength. Jung's teachings illuminate the path to self-awareness, guiding us to unearth the untapped potential that resides in the recesses of our unconscious mind. Parallel to the inward journey is the Stoic practice of cultivating indifference. In a world rife with chaos and uncertainty, the Stoic wisdom of embracing apathy as a superpower emerges as a clarion call to serenity. Stoicism teaches us that the key to mental invincibility lies in our ability to detach from the external forces that vie for our emotional investment. By learning not to care about the things that lie beyond our control, we reclaim our inner peace and fortify our minds against the vicissitudes of fate. This Stoic detachment does not imply a lack of passion or purpose, but heralds a strategic withdrawal from the ephemeral to anchor ourselves in the enduring essence of what truly matters. The art of discipline, often misconstrued as a rigid adherence to routine, transcends the mundane to touch upon the philosophical. To work without motivation is to embody the disciplined spirit that propels us towards our goals, irrespective of the whims of transient desire. This discipline is not born of external compulsion, but is an internalized virtue that drives us to action, even when the spark of motivation dims. It is the quiet force that fuels our journey towards excellence, allowing us to transcend the limitations imposed by fleeting emotions and societal expectations. Amidst the cacophony of a hyper-connected world, the joy of missing out presents itself as a sanctuary of solitude. Embracing solitude in a social world is not an escape but a deliberate choice to engage with our inner selves on a deeper level. This solitude offers a respite from the relentless pursuit of social validation, allowing us to find contentment in our own company. It teaches us to appreciate the simple pleasures of existence, cultivating a sense of joy that is not tethered to the approval of others, but springs from the well of our own being. This video is a manifesto for those seeking refuge from the turbulence of external circumstances. It beckons us to explore the rich tapestry of human consciousness, to embrace the paradoxes of our nature, and to cultivate a life of purpose and peace. This journey is a call to arms, not against the world, but against the tempests that rage within our minds. It is an invitation to wield the philosophical secrets of the ages as tools for sculpting an invincible mind. As we traverse this path, let us hold fast to the wisdom of the ancients, to the insights gleaned from the depths of psychology, and to the virtues of stoicism and discipline. Let us carve out a sanctuary of peace in the midst of chaos, becoming beacons of light in the shadowed corridors of existence. The journey towards an invincible mind is both a return to self and an odyssey beyond the self, a paradox that only the brave dare to explore. Diving deeper into the intricacies of this concept, it's pivotal to begin with its definition and origin as laid out by Carl Jung, who remains a towering figure in the realm of depth psychology. The shadow is essentially that part of our psyche that the conscious ego refuses to acknowledge as a part of itself. This component of our personality harbors thoughts, feelings, desires, and memories that, at some point, were judged by our conscious self or societal norms as unacceptable or inappropriate. These elements do not vanish. Instead, they are banished to the shadow, a repository for everything we deny in ourselves, but still exert influence over our thoughts, feelings, and actions in ways we might not consciously recognize. The characteristics of this idea are as diverse as human nature itself. It encompasses the repressed ideas, weaknesses, desires, instincts, and shortcomings that we choose to hide or deny. The shadow can include traits that society typically views negatively, such as envy, greed, selfishness, or the capacity for cruelty. However, it's crucial to understand that the shadow also contains positive attributes, talents, and abilities we've sidelined, parts of our personality we've suppressed under societal or familial pressure to conform. It is not just the dark side of our psyche in terms of morality or ethics, but includes any aspect of ourselves that we have pushed out of our awareness. The formation of the shadow begins early in life. As children, we receive cues from family, educators, and society about what behaviors and traits are acceptable. Those that receive praise and encouragement become integrated into our conscious identity, while those met with disapproval or punishment are repressed into the shadow. This process is not just about social taboos. It includes the personal preferences and prejudices of those who raise and influence us. A child who is taught to prioritize intellect over emotional expression might repress their emotional sensitivity into their dark side, viewing it as a weakness rather than a strength. Over time, this collection of repressed traits forms a substantial part of our unconscious psyche, influencing our lives in ways we might not be aware of. Moving to the impact of the shadow, its unchecked presence within our psyche can have profound negative consequences on various aspects of our lives. When we fail to acknowledge and integrate this concept, it can manifest as self-sabotage, where unconscious impulses derail our conscious goals and desires. This self-sabotage can appear in personal relationships, career aspirations, or our efforts towards self-improvement. The shadow can drive us to act against our best interests, undermining our relationships through unexplained outbursts of anger, jealousy, or resentment, or by fostering an internal narrative that convinces us we are unworthy of love, success, or happiness. Projection is another significant mechanism through which the shadow asserts its influence. Projection occurs when we attribute the qualities, desires, and faults we refuse to acknowledge in ourselves to others. This psychological defense mechanism serves to protect our conscious ego from recognizing parts of ourselves we find unacceptable. However, projection leads to misunderstanding, prejudice, and conflict in our interpersonal relationships. By projecting our negative traits onto others, we fail to see them as they truly are, instead interacting with a distorted reflection of our own shadow. This not only hampers our ability to form genuine connections, but can also contribute to wider societal issues of discrimination and intolerance, as collective shadows of groups or cultures project their fears and prejudices onto the other. Now, I will try to illustrate how this concept can manifest in behaviors and attitudes. Consider the scenario of a person who prides themselves on their rationality and disdains emotional expression, viewing it as a sign of weakness. This individual might frequently find themselves in conflicts that escalate due to their inability to empathize with others' feelings, not realizing that their disdain for emotion is a projection of their unresolved conflict with their own repressed emotional sensitivity. Another example could be someone who vehemently criticizes others for dishonesty or unethical behavior, not recognizing their own capacity for deceit or moral compromise, which they have repressed into their dark side. In both cases, the individuals are unaware that their reactions and attitudes towards others are reflections of their internal struggles with aspects of themselves they've denied. These manifestations of the shadow can lead to cycles of behavior that reinforce negative self-concepts, perpetuate conflict, and hinder personal growth. The journey toward recognizing and integrating the dark side, therefore, becomes essential not just for personal well-being, but for the health of our relationships and the broader social fabric. Understanding the shadow, its origins, characteristics, and the ways it can negatively impact our lives sets the stage for the crucial work of shadow integration. Acknowledging and embracing the repressed parts of ourselves offers a path to greater authenticity, deeper relationships, and a more fulfilling life. This exploration requires courage and honesty, but promises profound rewards. A life lived in greater harmony with oneself and others, illuminated by the awareness and acceptance of the full spectrum of our being. The exploration of mythology across cultures unveils a rich tapestry of stories that, beyond their entertainment value, serve a deeper psychological purpose. Myths have been used since time immemorial to explain the unexplainable, to teach moral lessons, and to reflect the inner workings of the human psyche. They are the collective dreams of societies, embodying the fears, desires, and values of cultures. Within these narratives lie profound insights into human behavior and psychological truths, particularly concerning the aspects of ourselves we least understand or fear to confront: the shadow. Carl Jung's concept of archetypes is instrumental in understanding the psychological underpinnings of mythology. Archetypes are innate, universal prototypes for ideas and may manifest in themes, symbols, or characters across various cultures, myths, and stories. These are not just mere cultural inventions, but emanate from the collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of human experiences and memories inherited from our ancestors. Among these archetypes, we find the shadow, representing the dark side of the human psyche. This archetype is not merely an individual experience, but a universal one, manifesting across various myths and legends, showcasing the ubiquity of our inner struggles with the parts of ourselves we deny or wish to hide. The story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, though not a myth in the traditional sense, serves as a potent allegory for this concept. Dr. Jekyll represents the socially acceptable persona, the conscious self that adheres to societal norms and values. Mr. Hyde, on the other hand, embodies Dr. Jekyll's repressed desires and instincts, his shadow. The transformation from Jekyll into Hyde illustrates the dangerous consequences of denying and repressing these darker aspects. Rather than integrating his shadow, Dr. Jekyll's attempts to separate and conceal it only give it more power, leading to his eventual downfall. This story mirrors the internal struggle many face in reconciling their public personas with their private desires and fears. In Greek mythology, the tale of the Minotaur trapped within the labyrinth can be interpreted as a metaphor for the shadow. The Minotaur, a creature both man and beast, represents the primal, animalistic instincts that lurk within the depths of our psyche, our shadow selves that we, like King Minos, attempt to hide away in the labyrinths of our unconscious. The hero's journey to slay the Minotaur, navigating the complex maze, parallels the individual's journey to confront and integrate their dark side. It's a powerful narrative on the necessity of facing our deepest fears and darkest aspects to find wholeness and harmony within ourselves. The dual nature of gods and heroes in various cultures further illustrates the universality of this concept. Many deities and legendary figures embody both virtuous and malevolent characteristics, reflecting the complex duality of human nature. These stories acknowledge that light cannot exist without darkness, and that virtue is often interwoven with vice. By presenting gods and heroes with flaws and dark impulses, mythology teaches us that the struggle with the shadow is an integral part of the human experience, one that even the divine cannot escape. Learning from mythology, we can begin to see our own shadows reflected in the tales of old. These stories offer us a mirror, revealing that the internal struggle with our darker aspects is a universal one. They encourage us to confront our darkness, not with fear or aversion, but with the understanding that this confrontation is necessary for growth and transformation. Myths teach us that the shadow is not an enemy to be vanquished, but a part of ourselves to be understood and integrated. They remind us that by acknowledging and embracing our darker sides, we can emerge stronger, more balanced, and more fully ourselves. These mythological narratives, rich with symbolic meaning, offer a roadmap for navigating our own psychological labyrinths. They provide comfort in knowing that our struggles with the shadow are not solitary ones, but are shared across the human condition. By engaging with these stories, we can glean insights into our own psyche, learning to embrace the totality of our being, both light and shadow. In doing so, we unlock the potential for profound personal growth, self-acceptance, and a deeper understanding of what it means to be human. In the tapestry of literature and mythology, the mirror emerges as a compelling symbol, casting light on the journey of self-reflection and the unveiling of truths lurking in the recesses of our psyche. This emblem transcends its physical function, beckoning us to peer deeper than our surface reflections, to confront the shadow that dwells within. Through the mirror, myths and stories unfurl a pathway to self-awareness, framing it as a tool not merely for introspection, but for the revelation of the concealed aspects of our personality, the shadow that we often choose to ignore or hide from view. The historical and cultural landscapes are rich with the symbolism of the mirror, serving as a medium for exploring themes of identity, truth, and self-awareness. In the Greek myth of Narcissus, the mirror of the water surface captures not just a reflection but a fatal attraction, leading Narcissus into a self-obsessed trance from which he cannot escape. This myth serves as a stark warning about the perils of excessive self-focus and the failure to acknowledge our dark side. It illustrates the danger of an unbalanced fascination with one's image, neglecting the deeper, multifaceted layers of the self that the mirror also offers to reveal. This narrative of reflection and revelation transcends cultural boundaries, with mirrors often portrayed as gateways to understanding one's deeper nature. These stories suggest that true self-awareness requires the bravery to face our entire selves, inviting us to confront not only our outward identities, but also the shadow that lies beneath. By engaging with the mirror's symbolism, we are encouraged to embark on a profound journey of self-discovery, to explore the hidden corridors of our being, and to integrate these revelations into a fuller understanding of ourselves. Psychologically, ancient tales that incorporate mirrors can be seen as allegories for the process of self-examination and the discovery of our shadow. These narratives urge us to look beyond the surface, to delve into the depths of our psyche and confront the aspects of ourselves we might prefer to keep out of the light. This allegorical use of the mirror in myth and literature invites us to reflect on our actions, emotions, and thoughts, to uncover and confront the shadow within, thereby fostering a journey towards a more authentic and integrated self. The practical application of the mirror metaphor in our lives serves as a powerful mechanism for personal growth. It encourages us to engage in a reflective practice, seeing beyond our immediate perceptions to the deeper truths of our nature. This introspective journey allows us to recognize and embrace the complexity of our character, including the shadow aspects that we may have sought to repress or deny. By acknowledging and integrating these parts of ourselves, we can achieve a greater harmony and authenticity in our lives. Integrating reflection into our understanding of personal myths and narratives provides a means to comprehend and accept the entirety of our identity, shadow included. Just as the mirror in myths reveals hidden truths, our personal stories, imbued with victories, struggles, and contradictions, offer insights into our deeper selves. Reflecting on these narratives allows us to embrace our whole selves, recognizing that our darkness, as much as our light, contributes to the rich tapestry of who we are. In weaving the shadow into the narrative of self-reflection and personal growth, we acknowledge that understanding and integrating our dark side is not a task to be feared but embraced. It is a journey towards self-acceptance, wherein the mirror, literal and metaphorical, serves not as a tool for vanity but as a gateway to deeper self-knowledge and integration. Encountering the deeper aspects of our psyche, particularly those parts we've pushed into the background, requires a deliberate and conscious effort. This journey into self-discovery is not about casting light on our shortcomings for the sake of criticism, but about embracing the entirety of our being to foster growth and understanding. Recognizing these hidden facets, our repressed desires, fears, and impulses, begins with a careful observation of our emotional reactions, projections, and the narratives we find in our dreams. These elements serve as signposts, guiding us towards a deeper understanding of our internal landscape. Emotional reactions, especially those that seem disproportionate to their triggers, can often be indicators of deeper issues lying beneath our conscious awareness. When we find ourselves overreacting or feeling unusually strong emotions in certain situations, it's a cue to look deeper. These intense emotions are often the result of unacknowledged parts of ourselves making themselves known. Similarly, the act of projection, where we attribute our own unacceptable feelings and thoughts to others, can reveal what we've been unwilling to confront within ourselves. Dreams, with their rich symbolism and capacity to bypass our conscious defenses, provide another valuable avenue for exploration. They can mirror aspects of our psyche that we've ignored or repressed, offering insights into our deeper selves. The practice known as shadow work is a method designed for this very exploration and integration. It's a process of delving into the deeper, often unexplored territories of the self, acknowledging the existence of these repressed parts and understanding their influence on our lives. Shadow work is not a journey to be undertaken lightly. It requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to face discomfort. Yet it is a profoundly rewarding practice that can lead to increased authenticity, self-acceptance, and a deeper connection to the self and others. Incorporating mindfulness, meditation, and journaling into shadow work enhances the process by fostering a space of non-judgmental awareness. Mindfulness, the practice of being present and fully engaged with the moment without judgment, allows us to observe our thoughts, feelings, and reactions as they are. This practice can help us become aware of the patterns that signal the influence of the repressed aspects of our psyche. Meditation deepens this process by quieting the mind and allowing for a more profound introspection. It can create the mental and emotional space necessary to confront and integrate these hidden parts of ourselves. Journaling acts as a complementary practice, providing a tangible way to document and process the insights gained through mindfulness and meditation. Writing about our experiences, emotions, and the symbols that arise in our dreams can help us articulate and understand the complex dynamics at play within our psyche. It allows us to trace the threads of our emotional reactions and projections back to their origins, offering clues to the nature of what we've pushed into the shadows. The journey of encountering and integrating these aspects of ourselves is a path toward wholeness. It involves recognizing the parts of ourselves we've hidden away, our vulnerabilities, fears, and unacknowledged desires, and understanding how they've shaped our lives. By doing so, we not only become more authentic and integrated individuals, but also improve our relationships with others. Understanding our projections helps us see others more clearly, free from the distortion of our unacknowledged traits. This process of deep introspection, acceptance, and integration is transformative. It does not mean that we become perfect or that we no longer have aspects of ourselves that challenge us. Rather, it means that we become more aware of the complexity of our nature and more accepting of ourselves as multifaceted beings. We learn to embrace the full spectrum of our humanity, understanding that our darker aspects, just like our areas of light and strength, are integral to who we are. This acceptance brings with it a sense of peace and a deeper capacity for compassion towards ourselves and others. The practice of recognizing and integrating these deeper aspects of ourselves is a journey of profound personal growth. It requires mindfulness, reflection, and a willingness to face the discomfort of confronting what we've repressed. Yet, the rewards of this journey are immeasurable, leading to a life of greater authenticity, self-acceptance, and compassion. Through this process, we learn not only to understand ourselves more deeply, but also to navigate the world with a greater sense of empathy and connection. Integrating the deeper, often unacknowledged parts of our psyche represents a pivotal step in the journey towards self-actualization and wholeness. This process, far from being an end to self-improvement, marks the beginning of a richer, more nuanced engagement with life. The benefits of such integration are manifold, profoundly affecting our sense of self, our creativity, our energy levels, and our capacity for growth. By embracing the full spectrum of our personality, including those aspects we might have previously shunned or ignored, we pave the way for a more authentic existence. Authenticity here is not merely about honesty with others, but living in alignment with our true selves, unencumbered by the need to repress or deny parts of our nature. This newfound authenticity fuels creativity by unlocking the doors to a vast inner landscape previously cordoned off. The parts of ourselves that we push into the shadows often contain untapped wellsprings of creativity and innovation. By integrating these aspects, we allow ourselves access to a broader range of emotions, experiences, and viewpoints, enriching our creative endeavors. Moreover, this integration process liberates a significant amount of psychic energy previously devoted to maintaining the barriers between our conscious awareness and the repressed parts of our psyche. This energy can then be redirected toward more constructive and fulfilling pursuits, enhancing our engagement with life and our capacity for joy and satisfaction. Personal growth is perhaps the most profound benefit of integrating these deeper aspects of ourselves. This growth is not linear but expansive, opening us up to new dimensions of experience and understanding. It involves developing a more compassionate and comprehensive relationship with ourselves, recognizing our multifaceted nature, and learning to navigate the complexities of our inner world with grace and wisdom. This journey toward integration fosters resilience, adaptability, and a deeper sense of connection with others as we become more attuned to the nuances of human experience. The path to integration involves several practical steps, each requiring intentionality and commitment. The first step is acknowledgement, a process that involves shining a light on the parts of ourselves that we have been avoiding. This step is crucial and can be challenging. as it requires us to confront aspects of our personality or experiences that we may find uncomfortable or painful. Acknowledgement is not about self-judgment, but about recognizing the existence of these aspects as part of our overall being. Understanding the origins of these traits and experiences is the next step. This involves exploring the roots of our behaviors, emotions, and thought patterns, seeking to understand how they came to be repressed or denied. This exploration can uncover the impact of past traumas, societal conditioning, or family dynamics, providing insights into why we might have felt the need to distance ourselves from certain parts of our being. Acceptance follows understanding, marking a critical phase in the integration process. Acceptance does not imply resignation or complacency, but rather a compassionate embracing of our entire self. It involves recognizing that every aspect of our personality, even those we might have judged harshly, has contributed to the person we are today. This step is vital for moving beyond conflict and division within ourselves, fostering a sense of internal harmony and peace. For many, the journey of integration is facilitated by therapeutic assistance, especially when dealing with deeper, more complex issues. Professional guidance can provide a supportive and structured environment for exploring the depths of our psyche. Therapists trained in depth psychology, Jungian analysis, or other relevant modalities can offer invaluable insights and tools for navigating this process. They can help us to safely confront and work through the challenges that arise, ensuring that we do not become overwhelmed by the intensity of the emotions or memories that may surface. Therapy can also provide a mirror for our experiences, reflecting back to us the parts of ourselves that we might have difficulty seeing clearly, facilitating a deeper understanding and acceptance. The journey toward integrating the deeper aspects of our being is both challenging and profoundly rewarding. It offers a pathway to a more authentic, creative, and energized life marked by continuous personal growth. This process requires courage, patience, and a willingness to engage with the complexities of our inner world. With the right support and a commitment to self-exploration, integration can transform our relationship with ourselves and the world around us, leading to a life of greater fulfillment and meaning. In the course of our exploration, we've journeyed deep into the realm of the psyche, unraveling the concept of the shadow, a term coined by Carl Jung to describe the hidden, darker aspects of our personality that reside in our unconscious. We've discovered that the shadow is not merely a source of negativity, but a repository of repressed desires, fears, instincts, and untapped potential. Its recognition and integration into our conscious life stand as a monumental step towards achieving authenticity, emotional balance, and personal growth. We delved into the significance of confronting and acknowledging the shadow, highlighting how this process can lead to increased self-awareness and a more holistic understanding of ourselves. By embracing the entirety of our being, both the light and dark aspects, we unlock the door to a richer, more vibrant life, marked by creativity, vitality, and a profound sense of wholeness. The journey of shadow integration is not without its challenges, requiring courage, introspection, and a willingness to face the discomfort that comes with confronting aspects of ourselves we've long ignored or hidden away. Moreover, we've explored practical steps for engaging with and integrating the shadow, including the pivotal roles of mindfulness, meditation, and journaling. These practices serve as invaluable tools in the quest for self-discovery, allowing us to observe, understand, and accept the multifaceted nature of our being. For those who find themselves confronting deeper, more complex issues, we've emphasized the importance of seeking therapeutic assistance, a supportive partnership that can guide and facilitate the journey toward integration. The invitation to embark on your own journey of self-discovery and shadow integration stands before you. This journey is a deeply personal one, unique to each individual, yet it is also a universal path that many have walked before. It promises a rewarding transformation, leading to a life lived with greater authenticity, creativity, and inner peace. I encourage you then to take the first step. Begin with curiosity and an open heart, ready to explore the depths of your own psyche. Embrace the process of self-reflection, allowing yourself to see and accept all parts of yourself. Remember, the journey toward integrating the shadow is not a quest for perfection, but a path to understanding and wholeness. Along the way, you will likely encounter challenges and discomfort, but know that these are signs of progress, markers of your courage to confront and embrace the complexity of your being. Let this exploration be a beacon of light guiding you through the shadowy corridors of your inner world. Allow it to inspire a journey not just of self-discovery, but of self-recreation, where each step, each revelation brings you closer to the fullest expression of who you are. So step into the mirror of your own existence, look beyond the surface, and venture into the depths. There in the shadow you will find not just hidden fears and repressed desires, but the keys to your untapped potential and authentic self. Embrace this journey with courage and compassion, for it is the path to a life of depth, fulfillment, and true self-acceptance. Imagine being caught in a downpour without an umbrella. An inconvenience for sure, but while some curse the sky, others simply smile and walk on. This simple distinction between reactions speaks volumes about our approach to life's uncontrollable elements. In our lives full of unceasing demands and the relentless pace of change, it's easy to find ourselves at the mercy of our surroundings. The unexpected downpour is a metaphor for the myriad unexpected challenges we face. A sudden job loss, an unforeseen argument with a loved one, or even a global crisis that shakes the very foundation of our normalcy. Our instinctual response is to react, often with frustration, anger, or despair. Yet, what if there was a different path? A path that not only shields us from the chaos, but also transforms our relationship with it. This is where the ancient philosophy of Stoicism and its modern interpretation through the lens of indifference comes into play. Stoicism, a Hellenistic philosophy founded in the early 3rd century BC by Zeno of Citium, offers a blueprint for resilience in the face of adversity. It teaches the value of understanding what is within our control and what isn't, urging us to focus our energy solely on the former. This isn't a call to passivity, but rather a strategy for empowerment. By distinguishing between our external circumstances and our internal reactions, it provides a framework for enduring happiness and peace of mind. The modern concept of indifference, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, is often misunderstood. It's not about a lack of care or disengagement from the world. Instead, it's about cultivating a selective detachment from things outside our control. This form of indifference isn't cold or unfeeling, rather, it's a deliberate choice to not allow external events to dictate our inner state. It's the recognition that while we can't control the rain, we can control how we respond to it, whether we choose to lament our wet clothes or appreciate the refreshment it brings. The power of not caring, according to this philosophy, lies in its liberation from the tyranny of external validation and the unpredictable waves of fortune. It's a tool for building emotional resilience, enabling us to face life's challenges with equanimity and grace. This philosophy teaches us that our happiness depends not on altering our external environment, but on adjusting our internal perspective. Embracing Stoicism and learning to be indifferent in this nuanced way can profoundly transform our lives. It equips us with the strength to remain steadfast in the face of adversity, to make decisions based on wisdom rather than whim, and to cultivate inner peace regardless of external chaos. This path leads to not just a more effective life, but a more fulfilling one. I want us to delve into the essence of Stoic indifference, unraveling how this ancient wisdom can be applied to our contemporary lives. We'll discover that the true power lies not in the events that befall us, but in our responses to them. By embracing the Stoic practice of indifference, we open ourselves to a life characterized not by resignation, but by profound empowerment. This journey invites us to reconsider not just how we react to the rain, but how we navigate the storms of our lives, finding serenity amidst turbulence and strength in what many perceive as surrender. Thus, our exploration is not merely an academic one, it's a call to action, a challenge to reshape our lives from the inside out. Through the lens of Stoicism, we'll uncover the transformative power of not caring in a way that brings deeper meaning, satisfaction, and effectiveness to our existence. To fully grasp the transformative potential of Stoicism and its nuanced concept of indifference, we must journey back to its origins and understand its foundational principles. This philosophy was born in the bustling heart of ancient Greece, later flourishing in Rome, and has left an indelible mark on the philosophy of Western civilization. This doctrine emerged in the 3rd century BC, founded by Zeno of Citium. Zeno's teachings, initially delivered from the Painted Porch, or Stoa Poikile in Athens, laid the groundwork for a philosophy that would endure for centuries. Stoicism's resilience through time can be attributed to its practical approach to life's challenges, focusing on personal virtue and wisdom as the keys to happiness. The torch of Stoicism was carried forward by its most eminent figures: Seneca, a Roman statesman; Epictetus, a former slave turned influential teacher; and Marcus Aurelius, a philosopher king. These individuals, despite their vastly different life circumstances, shared a common vision of his philosophy as a way of life. Their writings, ranging from intimate letters and lectures to the meditations of an emperor, offer a rich tapestry of Stoic thought, woven through with the themes of endurance, integrity, and the pursuit of goodness above all else. At the heart of the philosophy lies a set of core principles that guide the practice of indifference. The first of these principles is the pursuit of virtue. Virtue is not merely an abstract ideal, but the very essence of a good life. It encompasses wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, virtues that enable individuals to act in harmony with nature and their rational nature. It teaches that a life aligned with virtue is the highest form of existence, one that transcends the fleeting pleasures and pains of the external world. Understanding what is within our control and what isn't forms the cornerstone of this philosophy. This distinction is crucial for cultivating true indifference. Stoics argue that our perceptions, decisions, and actions are within our control, while everything else, wealth, reputation, health, and even the actions of others, lies beyond it. This wisdom lies in focusing our efforts and concerns on our internal state, refining our character and responses, rather than being swayed by the uncontrollable tides of fate. Living in harmony with nature is another central tenet of Stoicism. This principle goes beyond a simple appreciation for the natural world. It encompasses an alignment with the universe's rational order and our place within it. For Stoics, living in accordance with nature means accepting the unfolding of events as part of a larger, coherent design, even if individual occurrences seem unjust or unfortunate. This acceptance is not passive resignation, but an active affirmation of life's rhythm, grounded in the belief that virtue and wisdom enable us to navigate any circumstance. This concept of indifference, or what is often referred to as apatheia, is perhaps the most misunderstood aspect of Stoicism. Contrary to the modern negative connotations of indifference as a lack of concern or empathy, Stoic indifference is a profound and selective detachment. It's a rational, controlled approach to caring about things, distinguishing between what truly matters, our own virtue and moral character, and what does not, external events and the opinions of others. This form of indifference is not cold or unfeeling. Instead, it is deeply compassionate, grounded in the understanding that most of life's troubles stem from misplaced values and attachments. Indifference, in the Stoic sense, is the result of a meticulous process of reasoning, a deliberate choice to remain unaffected by external circumstances that are beyond our control. This doesn't mean Stoics are indifferent to the welfare of others or to the pursuit of external goals. Rather, they approach these aspects of life with a clear understanding of their relative importance. The Stoic is fully engaged in the world, striving to act virtuously and contribute positively, but without attachment to the outcome of their actions. This detachment allows them to maintain their equanimity in the face of life's ups and downs, freeing them from the tyranny of uncontrolled desires and fears. The practice of selective indifference, then, is not about withdrawal from life, but about engaging with it more fully, more serenely. It's about recognizing the immense power we hold within ourselves, the power to maintain our inner peace, to choose our response to adversity, and to live a life of virtue, regardless of external conditions. By embracing indifference, we're not turning our backs on the world. We're choosing to interact with it from a place of strength, wisdom, and profound inner freedom. In the exploration of Stoicism and its profound principle of selective indifference, we find a transformative power that extends into various facets of our lives. This Stoic indifference, far from a mere disengagement, equips us with the tools to navigate life's inevitable vicissitudes with grace and resilience. Among the most significant benefits of this philosophical stance are emotional resilience, enhanced decision-making capabilities, and liberation from the often crushing weight of social pressures. The cultivation of emotional resilience through Stoic indifference is akin to building an inner fortress that remains impervious to the storms raging outside. This resilience is not about suppressing emotions or denying the reality of pain, disappointment, or loss. Rather, it's about acknowledging these feelings while refusing to be overpowered by them. It teaches us that our emotions are largely the product of our judgments and perceptions. By adopting a stance of indifference towards things we cannot control, we learn to reframe our perceptions, focusing instead on our capacity to respond with virtue and composure. This inner transformation does not happen overnight. It requires practice and a steadfast commitment to these principles. However, the reward is a profound sense of peace and stability that endures regardless of external circumstances. When we internalize the idea that we have the power to choose our reactions, we unlock a wellspring of emotional resilience. We become capable of facing life's challenges without being unduly disturbed, maintaining our equilibrium even in the face of adversity. This resilience is not a cold detachment, but a conscious choice to prioritize our inner peace and virtue over the chaos of the external world. Stoic indifference also plays a crucial role in decision-making. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with information and demands, it's easy to become overwhelmed and react impulsively. However, by practicing indifference towards things outside our control, we can clear the mental clutter that clouds our judgment, enabling us to make decisions that are rational, well-considered, and aligned with our core values. This clarity of thought is not merely beneficial in navigating personal dilemmas, it also enhances our professional judgment and ethical reasoning. When we are not unduly attached to outcomes or swayed by the tumult of external events, we can assess situations more objectively. This objectivity allows us to weigh options based on their merits, foresee potential consequences, and choose paths that are not only effective, but also just and virtuous. This indifference fosters a decision-making process that is not reactive but reflective, guided by wisdom rather than whims or fears. Perhaps one of the most liberating aspects of Stoic indifference is the freedom it grants from social pressures and the relentless pursuit of external validation. Our contemporary society is characterized by an incessant drive to compare, compete, and conform. This pursuit of approval, status, and material success can be exhausting, leaving individuals feeling perpetually inadequate or unfulfilled. This philosophy offers an antidote to this societal malaise through its emphasis on personal virtue and internal worth over external achievements and the opinions of others. By practicing indifference, we learn to measure our worth by our own standards of virtue, integrity, and self-improvement, rather than the fleeting accolades of the external world. This shift in perspective frees us from the need to constantly seek validation from others. It empowers us to live authentically, pursuing what truly matters to us without being swayed by the ever-changing tides of social expectations. This liberation from social pressures does not mean Stoics retreat from the world or disregard the value of community and relationships. On the contrary, it encourages active engagement with the world, but from a place of self-assurance and equanimity. Freed from the need for external validation, we can focus on contributing positively to our communities and building meaningful relationships based on mutual respect and understanding rather than superficial measures of success. The power of Stoic indifference, then, lies not in a withdrawal from life, but in a deeper engagement with it. By cultivating emotional resilience, we navigate life's challenges with grace. Through clear, rational decision-making, we choose paths that are true to our values, and in freeing ourselves from the tyranny of social pressures, we live more authentically, guided by our own standards of virtue and worth. The application of Stoic indifference in our daily lives can be transformative, offering a pragmatic approach to navigating the complexities of personal life, work, and the inevitable adversities we face. By internalizing and applying these principles, we can cultivate a life marked by resilience, purpose, and profound inner peace. In the realm of personal relationships, emotional challenges, and the daily stresses that punctuate our existence, Stoic indifference serves as a guiding light. This philosophical stance encourages us to adopt a balanced perspective, where our emotional well-being is not held hostage by the actions or opinions of others. One practical strategy for applying Stoicism in personal relationships involves focusing on our own actions and reactions rather than attempting to control or overly invest in the outcomes of others' behaviors. This means practicing forgiveness, understanding, and compassion, recognizing that others act according to their own perceptions, which we cannot control. Another strategy involves the practice of premeditation, mentally preparing for potential challenges or negative outcomes in advance. This doesn't mean dwelling pessimistically on what could go wrong, but rather equipping ourselves mentally for various possibilities. This preparation helps mitigate the impact of emotional challenges and daily stresses, enabling us to respond with composure and resilience rather than react impulsively. Moreover, it teaches us to embrace gratitude, focusing on what we have rather than lamenting what we lack or what might be taken from us. By appreciating the present and finding contentment in our current circumstances, we can mitigate the impact of daily stresses and cultivate a more fulfilling personal life. In the context of work and career, Stoic indifference can be a powerful tool for enhancing productivity, focus, and innovation. By practicing indifference towards external validation and the uncontrollable aspects of our work environment, we can channel our energy more effectively towards our tasks and goals. This mindset reduces procrastination, which often stems from a fear of failure or judgment, by shifting our focus from the outcome to the process of our work. These principles encourage us to view challenges as opportunities for growth and learning, fostering a mindset of problem-solving rather than problem avoidance. This perspective not only improves our capacity to tackle complex issues, but also enhances our resilience in the face of work-related adversity. Furthermore, by maintaining an equanimous stance towards praise and criticism, we can remain centered and motivated by our internal values and goals, rather than being swayed by external opinions or temporary setbacks. The practice of reflection at the end of each day can also enhance our work and career. By reviewing our actions, decisions, and their outcomes, we can identify areas for improvement, celebrate our successes, and maintain a clear sense of purpose and direction in our professional endeavors. The stories of individuals who have overcome significant obstacles through the application of Stoic principles are both inspiring and instructive. One such example is James Stockdale, an American vice admiral and aviator in the United States Navy, who was held captive during the Vietnam War. Stockdale credited Stoicism, particularly the teachings of Epictetus, with helping him endure 7.5 years in captivity, including periods of solitary confinement and torture. His story exemplifies the ideals of endurance, resilience, and the power of the mind over circumstances. Stockdale's application of indifference allowed him to distinguish between what was within his control, his beliefs, attitudes, and responses, and what was not, enabling him to survive with his dignity and integrity intact. His ability to maintain hope and inner strength in the face of harsh adversity, and his forgiveness towards his captors, reflect the Stoic virtues of courage, justice, and temperance. His life demonstrates how Stoic indifference to external conditions, choosing not to be embittered or broken by them, can lead to profound personal and societal transformation. These kind of stories underscore the practical power of Stoic indifference in overcoming adversity. By focusing on what is within our control and adopting a perspective of growth and resilience, we can navigate life's most challenging moments with grace and strength. Stoicism does not promise an easy life, but offers the tools to live a meaningful one, regardless of the circumstances we face. Cultivating this principle. A philosophical approach that encourages resilience, clarity, and equanimity in the face of life's vicissitudes requires practice and dedication. This transformation is not instantaneous but evolves through consistent engagement with exercises and principles. By incorporating daily reflections, journaling, mindfulness practices, engaging with a supportive community, and understanding the long-term benefits, individuals can progressively internalize and embody the Stoic outlook. The journey towards Stoic indifference begins with practical exercises designed to embed these principles into daily life. One foundational practice is daily reflection, a time set aside each day to contemplate one's actions, thoughts, and feelings through the lens of this philosophy. This could involve considering the day's events in light of what is within one's control and what is not, reflecting on instances where one could have responded more stoically, and planning how to better embody virtues in the future. Journaling complements daily reflection by providing a tangible record of one's thoughts, challenges, and progress. By writing down their reflections, individuals can track their development over time, gaining insights into their behavioral patterns and how these have shifted towards more Stoic responses. Journaling prompts based on these teachings can guide this practice, focusing on topics such as gratitude, the acceptance of things beyond one's control, and reflections on the nature of happiness and virtue. The role of community. The path towards Stoic indifference is significantly enriched by community. Engaging with like-minded individuals who are also exploring these practices provides an invaluable source of support, inspiration, and accountability. Communities, whether online forums, local meetup groups, or academic societies, offer spaces to discuss Stoic concepts, share experiences, and receive feedback. These interactions help to deepen one's understanding of this philosophy, highlighting diverse perspectives and applications of these principles in various life situations. Such communities also serve as a reminder that the practice of Stoicism, while deeply personal, is not a solitary endeavor. This emphasis on virtues like justice and community engagement underscores the philosophy's recognition of the interconnectedness of human lives. By participating in Stoic communities, individuals not only gain insights into their own practice of Stoicism, but also contribute to the collective wisdom of the group, fostering a shared growth towards wisdom and virtue. Long-term benefits. The long-term benefits of cultivating Stoic indifference are profound and far-reaching. As individuals deepen their practice of these principles, they often experience a significant transformation in their approach to life. This transformation includes increased resilience to stress and adversity, a greater sense of clarity and purpose, and a deeper, more consistent sense of happiness that is not contingent on external circumstances. The practice of indifference, by emphasizing what is within one's control, leads to a reduction in anxiety and worry over external events. This shift not only enhances emotional well-being, but also improves physical health, as chronic stress is known to have detrimental effects on the body. Furthermore, the Stoic focus on living in accordance with virtue and reason often leads to more fulfilling relationships and a stronger sense of community, as individuals become more empathetic, compassionate, and aligned in their values and actions. Moreover, the pursuit of personal growth and self-improvement contributes to a life of continual learning and development. By viewing challenges as opportunities for growth, individuals who practice Stoicism develop a resilient and adaptable mindset that is invaluable in both personal and professional contexts. This mindset, coupled with the inner peace and stability cultivated through Stoic indifference, enables individuals to lead lives that are not only more serene, but also more aligned with their deepest values and aspirations. Cultivating Stoic indifference is a transformative journey that reshapes how one engages with the world. Through daily reflections, journaling, mindfulness practices, and the support of a like-minded community, individuals can gradually internalize the principles of this ancient philosophy, leading to profound changes in their resilience, happiness, and overall well-being. In our journey through the profound realms of Stoicism, we've explored the transformative philosophy of Stoic indifference, a mindset that empowers us to navigate life's myriad challenges with unparalleled grace and resilience. This ancient wisdom, far from advocating for emotional suppression or disengagement from the world, encourages a thoughtful and intentional approach to life. It teaches us to distinguish between what is within our control and what lies beyond it, urging us to invest our energies wisely. Stoic indifference, as we've seen, is not about apathy or detachment from the passions and pursuits that give our lives meaning. Instead, it's about cultivating a state of inner tranquility and stability that remains unshaken by external circumstances. This philosophy equips us with the tools to face adversity, make clear and rational decisions, and free ourselves from the crippling need for external validation. Through practices such as daily reflections, journaling, and mindfulness, coupled with the support of a community of like-minded individuals, we can develop a Stoic outlook that profoundly enhances our emotional resilience, decision-making capabilities, and independence from social pressures. The journey of integrating Stoic indifference into our personal lives, work, and in overcoming adversity is not a solitary quest but a shared human endeavor. The stories of those who have navigated tremendous challenges by adhering to Stoic principles remind us of the philosophy's enduring relevance and power. These narratives not only inspire, but also offer tangible proof of how a Stoic mindset can transform adversity into a source of strength and growth. As we draw this exploration to a close, I invite you to reflect on the areas of your life where the practice of Stoic indifference could yield significant benefits. Consider the daily stresses, personal and professional challenges, and the societal pressures that may be holding you back from realizing your full potential. Imagine facing these obstacles with a serene and untroubled spirit, making decisions from a place of clarity and virtue, and engaging with the world from a position of strength and equanimity. The path to cultivating Stoic indifference is both a challenge and an opportunity to rediscover the power of your own will, to redefine your relationship with the external world, and to embark on a journey of personal transformation. This path requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to look inward, but the rewards it offers are immeasurable. By embracing Stoic principles, you can not only navigate life's challenges with greater ease, but also find a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness. Let us remember that the essence of Stoic indifference lies not in what life throws our way, but in how we choose to respond. It's a reminder that, amidst the chaos and unpredictability of the external world, we possess an inner citadel of peace and resilience that is invincible. May this knowledge empower you to live with purpose, to face the future with courage, and to embrace each moment with a heart unburdened by the things beyond your control. The journey towards Stoic indifference is not one of retreat from the world, but a bold step towards a more meaningful, virtuous, and contented life. Let us embark on this journey together with open hearts and minds, ready to transform not just our own lives but also the world around us. In the timeless words of Friedrich Nietzsche, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." This powerful statement invites us to ponder the profound relationship between our purpose and our ability to endure, to persist, and to overcome. It suggests that the fuel of our motivation is not found in fleeting desires or momentary whims, but in the deep-seated reasons that anchor our existence. Yet, what happens when the clarity of our why dims in the face of routine, when the spark of motivation flickers and fades under the weight of daily grind? This is the challenge many of us face, finding the strength to continue working, to keep moving forward, when motivation is nowhere to be found. Our journey through life is seldom a constant high. There are valleys as deep as there are peaks high, times when the well of motivation runs dry. It's in these moments, in the silence of inspiration's absence, that the art of discipline becomes our guiding light. Discipline, often misunderstood as merely a rigid framework of self-denial or punishment, is in fact a powerful form of freedom. It is the disciplined mind that can navigate through the tempests of distraction and the doldrums of disinterest, steering the soul toward its goals with unwavering resolve. The importance of discipline extends far beyond the confines of personal achievement. In the tapestry of human endeavor, whether in the realms of education, career, or personal development, it is the thread that weaves together the patterns of success. It is the force that propels us forward when the winds of motivation fail to fill our sails, the inner strength that enables us to uphold commitments, to refine our skills, and to cultivate the resilience necessary for sustained growth. Yet, the path to mastering the art of discipline is not one of mere willpower or the suppression of desires. It is a journey that begins with understanding, the recognition of it as not only a means to an end, but as a practice that enriches the very fabric of our being. It involves the cultivation of habits that align with our deepest values, the setting of goals that resonate with our true selves, and the development of an environment conducive to focus and productivity. In exploring this form of art, we delve into the wisdom of ages past and present. Philosophers, sages, and thinkers throughout history have pondered the virtues of disciplined living, offering insights that remain profoundly relevant in our modern age. From the Stoics, who championed the value of self-control and inner tranquility, to the teachings of Eastern philosophies that emphasize mindfulness and detachment, The philosophical underpinnings of willpower are both diverse and deep. These traditions teach us that discipline is not a yoke to be borne begrudgingly, but a practice to be embraced with joy, for it is through this that we find the freedom to achieve our fullest potential. This exploration into the art of discipline is not a call to shun the joys of life or to view it as a somber march toward achievement. Instead, it is an invitation to discover the harmony between discipline and desire, to learn how this pursuit of our goals can coexist with and even enhance the pleasures of life. It is a journey toward understanding how, in the controlled moments of our days, we find the seeds of fulfillment, the roots of purpose, and the pathways to the profound satisfaction that comes from knowing we are fully engaged in the act of becoming our best selves. As we embark on this exploration, let us cast aside any preconceived notions of discipline as a mere tool for productivity. Instead, let us approach it with curiosity and openness, ready to uncover the deeper truths and practical strategies that can guide us through the challenges of working without motivation. Through this journey, we aim to not only illuminate the path to personal and professional development, but to inspire a renaissance of self-control that transcends the bounds of individual achievement and resonates through the essence of our collective human spirit. Building upon our foundational understanding of this art, it's crucial to differentiate between the concepts of motivation and discipline themselves, which, although intertwined, serve distinct roles in our pursuit of goals and personal development. Motivation is the spark. It's what ignites our initial desire to pursue a goal, driven by a combination of internal desires and external rewards. It's the feeling of enthusiasm and interest that propels us to start a project, take up a new hobby, or strive for a promotion. However, motivation is inherently fleeting. It waxes and wanes with our emotional state, the immediate environment, and countless other variables that can change from one moment to the next. Discipline, in contrast, is the steadier flame. It does not rely on the fluctuating states of our emotions or external circumstances, but is instead built on a foundation of consistent action, habits, and an unwavering commitment to our goals, regardless of the immediate rewards or our momentary feelings. While motivation can be seen as the reason why we embark on a task, self-discipline is the how, the method by which we continue to move forward even when our initial enthusiasm has faded. The reliance solely on motivation for productivity is fraught with limitations. Motivation is like the weather, unpredictable and changing, leaving us susceptible to procrastination and inconsistency when it fades. It's in these moments that the limitations of motivation become most apparent. When the initial excitement of a new project dissipates, or when faced with the mundane, repetitive aspects of our pursuits, motivation often falters. This is where this concept takes the forefront, offering a more reliable foundation for achieving goals. Discipline ensures that actions are taken and progress is made, even in the absence of motivation. It's the disciplined approach to work and life that results in the accumulation of small efforts over time, leading to significant achievements. Transitioning into the psychological underpinnings of this idea, it's essential to understand the roles of self-control and willpower, both of which are central components. Psychological research suggests that self-control, the ability to regulate one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in the face of temptations and impulses, is a key predictor of success in life. Willpower, closely related to self-control, is the capacity to resist short-term temptations in order to meet long-term goals. Both are muscles that can be strengthened over time through consistent practice. The development of self-control and willpower is crucial for discipline, as they enable individuals to maintain focus on their goals, resist distractions, and persevere through challenges and setbacks. Habits and routines play a pivotal role in building and sustaining discipline. They transform the exertion of willpower and self-control from a conscious effort into automatic behavior. By establishing consistent routines, individuals can reduce the mental load required to make decisions about when and how to work toward their goals, making it easier to maintain progress over time. This automation of behavior is key to developing this virtue, as it lessens the reliance on finite reserves of willpower and allows for the efficient allocation of mental resources. Furthermore, the establishment of disciplined habits and routines has been shown to have a profound impact on mental health and self-esteem. The regular accomplishment of tasks, adherence to personal standards, and the consistent pursuit of goals contribute to a sense of competency and self-efficacy. This, in turn, bolsters self-esteem and contributes to an overall sense of well-being. The psychological benefits of this concept extend beyond the mere achievement of goals, fostering a positive self-image and enhancing mental health. Individuals who cultivate this kind of willpower often report higher levels of happiness and satisfaction in life, as they are better equipped to manage their time, meet their obligations, and pursue their passions with consistency and determination. In understanding the nuanced relationship between motivation and discipline, and exploring the psychological foundations of this idea, we begin to appreciate the complex interplay of factors that contribute to sustained success and personal growth. Motivation sparks the engine of ambition, but it is this kind of willpower that steers the course and keeps the wheels turning, even when the road becomes difficult. The development of self-control, willpower, and disciplined habits not only propels us toward our goals, but also enhances our mental health and self-regard. As we delve deeper into this idea, it becomes clear that its value transcends the achievement of external goals, touching upon the very essence of personal fulfillment and well-being. Delving deeper into the practicalities of cultivating discipline, it becomes evident that the strategies we adopt can significantly influence our capacity to maintain focus and drive, even in the absence of motivation. Among the most effective strategies is the setting of clear goals. The framework of specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound SMART goals is invaluable in this process. These criteria ensure that goals are not just wishes, but actionable targets that can be realistically pursued. Specific goals clarify what is to be achieved, removing ambiguity and focusing effort. Measurable goals allow for tracking progress, providing motivation through visible achievements. Achievable goals ensure that objectives are within reach, given current resources and constraints, fostering a sense of possibility. Relevance ensures that goals are aligned with broader life ambitions, providing a sense of purpose. Finally, time-bound goals create a sense of urgency and help prioritize tasks, making it easier to stay disciplined by providing a clear timeline for achievement. The importance of clear goals cannot be overstated. They serve as beacons of focus, guiding our actions and decisions. When goals are well defined, the path forward becomes clearer, reducing the likelihood of becoming sidetracked by distractions or discouraged by uncertainty. Clear goals provide a metric against which we can measure our progress, offering tangible evidence of our efforts and fueling our drive to persist. They help demarcate the journey into manageable steps, making the daunting task of achieving a significant objective seem less insurmountable. Clear goals are the compass that helps navigate the journey of disciplined effort, ensuring that we remain oriented towards our desired destination, even when the allure of immediate gratification tempts us to veer off course. Transitioning from the conceptual to the practical, establishing a routine emerges as another pivotal strategy in the cultivation of discipline. Routines are the scaffolding upon which this behavior is built, providing structure to our days and automating decision-making processes. By establishing a routine, we can automate positive behaviors, significantly reducing the reliance on fluctuating willpower and momentary motivation. Routines help embed productive habits into the fabric of our daily lives, ensuring that progress towards our goals becomes a part of our identity rather than a sporadic effort. Creating effective routines requires a thoughtful approach that aligns with personal goals and lifestyles. It involves identifying the times of day when we are most productive and designing our schedules to tackle the most challenging tasks during these peak periods. It also means recognizing and mitigating potential distractions, creating an environment conducive to focus and productivity. Furthermore, effective routines include built-in breaks to prevent burnout and maintain high levels of performance throughout the day. They are flexible, allowing for adjustments based on feedback from our experiences and changes in our circumstances. By thoughtfully designing our routines, we can create a powerful framework that supports our disciplined pursuit of goals, harnessing the power of habit to propel us forward with minimal friction. Developing self-awareness plays a crucial role in the effective cultivation of discipline. A deep understanding of one's own habits, triggers, and patterns is essential for recognizing the forces that drive our behavior and for identifying opportunities for improvement. Self-awareness allows us to observe our actions and decisions with a critical eye, enabling us to pinpoint the habits that serve our goals and those that hinder our progress. It involves reflecting on our productivity cycles, understanding when we are most likely to be productive, and leveraging this knowledge to optimize our routines. It's a call to engage in an ongoing process of self-discovery and adaptation. This process might involve keeping a journal to track productivity patterns, experimenting with different routines, or simply taking time to reflect at the end of each day. The goal is to build a heightened sense of self-awareness that can inform more effective strategies for discipline. By understanding our own unique rhythms and preferences, we can tailor our approaches to this virtue, ensuring that our efforts are not only consistent but also aligned with the natural inclinations of our personalities and lifestyles. In the quest to integrate this concept into our lives, managing distractions stands as one of the paramount challenges that can derail even the most determined efforts. The modern world, with its incessant demands on our attention, presents a myriad of distractions. Both physical, like the constant pings of our smartphones, and mental, such as the worrying and daydreaming that cloud our focus. To navigate this landscape, developing strategies for minimizing these distractions is essential. Physical distractions, particularly those stemming from technology, require a proactive approach. One effective strategy is the deliberate segmentation of time, allocating specific periods for checking emails, social media, and other digital communications, outside of which these devices are kept silent or even physically out of reach. This not only reduces the constant interruption, but also reclaims stretches of uninterrupted time that are vital for deep, focused work. Additionally, the use of apps and tools designed to limit internet use or block distracting websites during work hours can help maintain digital discipline. Equally challenging are the mental distractions that can lead us astray. Techniques such as mindfulness and meditation have proven effective in training the mind to remain present, reducing the tendency towards unproductive worrying or daydreaming. Setting short-timed work sessions followed by brief breaks, a technique known as the Pomodoro technique, can also help maintain focus while providing regular opportunities to rest and recharge the mind. Creating a conducive environment for focus and discipline extends beyond merely minimizing distractions. It involves designing a space that actively promotes concentration and productivity. This can mean different things for different people, but common elements include a clean, organized workspace, adequate lighting, and perhaps the presence of elements that encourage focus, such as plants or instrumental music. Personal comfort is also crucial. as physical discomfort can be a significant distraction. Building willpower, like managing distractions, is a critical component in the building of discipline. The analogy of willpower as a muscle that can be strengthened over time is particularly apt, suggesting that with regular exercise, our capacity for self-control can grow. This process begins with small, manageable challenges that are designed to stretch our self-control without overwhelming it. Just as a muscle grows stronger through the stress and recovery cycle, so too does our willpower increase through the consistent practice of resisting temptations and pushing beyond our comfort zones. Incremental challenges might include resisting a small temptation that you would usually give into, or committing to a new positive habit for a short period each day. Over time, these challenges can become more significant, building upon the foundation of self-control that has been established. It's important, however, to approach this process with patience and to recognize that setbacks are part of the journey. Just as muscles can become fatigued and require rest, so too can our willpower be depleted, necessitating periods of recovery and self-compassion. The concept of willpower as a muscle also underscores the importance of nutrition, sleep, and physical health in maintaining and building self-control. Research has shown that poor diet, lack of sleep, and inadequate exercise can deplete our willpower reserves, making it harder to maintain this virtue. By taking care of our physical well-being, we can ensure that our willpower muscle is well nourished, rested, and ready for the challenges we set for it. The cultivation of discipline is a multifaceted endeavor that encompasses the setting of clear goals, the creation of supportive routines, the development of self-awareness, the management of distractions, and the strengthening of willpower. Each of these strategies contributes to the foundation of a disciplined life, enabling individuals to pursue their objectives with resilience and consistency. By embracing these strategies, individuals can transform the art of discipline from a concept into a lived practice, unlocking their potential and achieving their highest aspirations. The journey towards building a life of discipline is fraught with obstacles, among which burnout and procrastination loom large, presenting significant challenges to maintaining discipline. Acknowledging these challenges is the first step towards overcoming them, as it allows for the development of targeted strategies aimed at mitigating their impact. Burnout, characterized by feelings of exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced efficacy, often results from prolonged periods of stress and overwork without adequate rest or self-care. It's a state where even the most disciplined individuals can find their reserves depleted, their motivation dwindled, and their productivity compromised. Procrastination, on the other hand, is the act of delaying or postponing tasks, a behavior that can undermine this virtue by creating a cycle of stress, guilt, and decreased productivity. Both challenges, albeit distinct, share a common feature. They can be mitigated through strategic planning and self-awareness. Addressing burnout requires a multifaceted approach. Foremost, recognizing the signs of burnout is crucial. These can include chronic fatigue, irritability, lack of satisfaction from achievements, and a general disinterest in work. Once identified, taking deliberate breaks becomes essential. These breaks should not only be short pauses to refresh during the day, but also longer periods of disconnection to allow for mental and emotional recovery. Incorporating activities that are rejuvenating and entirely unrelated to work, such as hobbies, physical exercise, or spending time in nature, can restore balance and prevent the accumulation of stress. Moreover, revisiting and potentially redefining goals can also play a critical role in overcoming burnout. Sometimes, burnout stems from pursuing goals that are no longer aligned with one's values or are too ambitious in scope, leading to feelings of being overwhelmed. Setting smaller, more manageable goals can help rebuild confidence and momentum, providing a clearer, more achievable path forward. These smaller goals serve as stepping stones, each accomplishment acting as a building block towards larger aspirations, reducing the likelihood of feeling overwhelmed. Procrastination, while often perceived as a lack of discipline or poor time management, can also be a symptom of deeper issues such as fear of failure, perfectionism, or lack of clarity about the task at hand. Overcoming procrastination, therefore, begins with understanding its root causes. Once these underlying issues are addressed, practical strategies can be employed to break the cycle of procrastination. One effective approach is the division of tasks into smaller, more manageable parts. This breakdown makes the work seem less daunting, with each small task acting as a more accessible entry point to get started, thus reducing the inertia that often accompanies procrastination. Another strategy is the use of positive reinforcement, rewarding oneself for completing tasks or making progress. These rewards can be simple pleasures, like a favorite snack or a short break to do something enjoyable, serving as an incentive to start and continue working through tasks. Additionally, the technique of setting artificial deadlines for personal milestones before the actual deadline can create a sense of urgency that helps combat procrastination. Seeking support from peers or mentors is another crucial strategy in overcoming both burnout and procrastination. Sharing challenges with others can provide new perspectives, practical advice, and emotional support, reducing feelings of isolation. Peers can offer accountability, helping to stay on track with goals and commitments, while mentors can provide guidance, encouragement, and strategies that have worked for them in similar situations. Finally, embracing flexibility and self-compassion is vital. The path to discipline is not about rigid adherence to plans, but rather about the ability to adapt to changing circumstances and to forgive oneself for occasional lapses. Recognizing that setbacks are part of the process and treating oneself with kindness can foster resilience, making it easier to rebound and continue pursuing goals with renewed vigor. Overcoming the challenges of burnout and procrastination is integral to maintaining discipline. By acknowledging these challenges, taking strategic breaks, setting smaller goals, understanding and addressing the root causes of procrastination, seeking support, and practicing self-compassion, individuals can navigate these obstacles effectively. These strategies not only help in sustaining discipline, but also in enhancing overall well-being and productivity, paving the way for a balanced and fulfilling pursuit of personal and professional aspirations. Embarking further into the intricate journey of building discipline, we encounter a pivotal element that shapes our entire approach to growth and learning: mindset. The concept of mindset, as explored by psychologist Carol Dweck, particularly the distinction between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, offers profound insights into how our perceptions of ability and potential can significantly influence our capacity to integrate this principle. A growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work, emerges not just as a beneficial trait, but as a cornerstone in the foundation of this virtue. The importance of a growth mindset in building discipline cannot be overstated. It transforms challenges into opportunities, setbacks into learning experiences, and effort into a pathway to mastery. This mindset shift is crucial for several reasons. Firstly, it fosters resilience, enabling individuals to persist in the face of difficulties. When imbued with a growth mindset, the inevitable hurdles and failures encountered on the path to disciplined living are not seen as evidence of incapacity, but as integral parts of the learning process. This perspective encourages continued effort and engagement, even when progress seems slow or obstacles appear insurmountable. Moreover, a growth mindset catalyzes the development of discipline by changing how we view effort. In a fixed mindset, effort is often perceived negatively, as if the need for hard work signifies a lack of natural talent or ability. However, through the lens of a growth mindset, effort is reimagined as the engine of improvement, a necessary and valued component of success. This re-evaluation of effort as a positive force eliminates one of the significant barriers to the development of this virtue: the reluctance to engage in sustained, challenging work. Rather than viewing it as a restriction or a punitive measure to enforce productivity, it can be seen as a liberating force. This kind of self-control, when rooted in a growth mindset, is how we realize our potential, transform our aspirations into achievements, and navigate the complexities of life with purpose and direction. It is through discipline that we gain the freedom to pursue excellence, to cultivate skills and habits that open new doors and enable us to tackle more significant challenges. This perspective on discipline as a pathway to freedom and achievement necessitates a shift away from viewing goals and ambitions solely in terms of outcomes. Instead, it emphasizes the value of the process itself, the daily practices, the incremental improvements, and the lessons learned along the way. This process-oriented approach aligns with the principles of a growth mindset, where the focus is on becoming rather than merely achieving. It encourages an appreciation for the self-control required to engage deeply with our endeavors, recognizing that mastery and fulfillment are the results of sustained effort and engagement. Fostering a growth mindset also involves cultivating an environment, both internally and externally, that supports continuous learning and development. This includes seeking feedback, embracing challenges, and surrounding oneself with individuals who embody the qualities of resilience, perseverance, and a commitment to growth. It means creating a personal and professional life that reflects the values of curiosity, openness, and the pursuit of excellence. In essence, the role of mindset in integrating this virtue is transformative. By adopting a growth mindset, we can reframe our approach to this concept, viewing it not as a series of obstacles to be overcome, but as opportunities for growth, learning, and achievement. This mindset fosters a resilience that is indispensable in the face of challenges, encourages a positive attitude towards effort and improvement, and ultimately unlocks the true potential of self-control as a force for personal and professional development. Venturing into the philosophical realms to deepen our understanding of discipline, we find invaluable insights within Stoicism and the philosophies of Friedrich Nietzsche, each offering unique perspectives on the essence and application of this concept in life's pursuits. Stoicism, an ancient Hellenistic philosophy founded in the early 3rd century BC, places a significant emphasis on virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and especially temperance, which closely aligns with the concept of discipline. Stoics believe in living in harmony with the natural world and understanding the limits of one's power, particularly emphasizing the importance of focusing on what is within our control. This philosophy teaches that while we cannot control external events, we can control our responses to them, a principle that underscores the role of self-control in managing our perceptions, actions, and emotions. The Stoic perspective on discipline is encapsulated in the teachings of Epictetus, who famously stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This sentiment highlights the Stoic belief in self-control and resilience as foundational elements of a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, another prominent Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, further illuminates this idea in his Meditations, where he reflects on this virtue in facing life's challenges, noting, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These Stoic principles advocate for a disciplined approach to life, where the cultivation of an inner citadel of control and resilience allows individuals to navigate the vicissitudes of fate with equanimity and purpose. Transitioning to Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy, we encounter a different yet equally profound conceptualization of self-control through the lens of the will to power. Nietzsche posited the will to power as the fundamental driving force of human beings, an innate desire to overcome obstacles, extend one's influence, and assert control over one's circumstances. Unlike the Stoic emphasis on acceptance and control over one's internal states, Nietzsche's will to power focuses on the dynamic and assertive aspect of human nature, the relentless drive to shape one's destiny in accordance with one's values and aspirations. Discipline, from a Nietzschean perspective, can be seen as a manifestation of the will to power. It is the means by which individuals exert control over their own lives, channeling their energies and desires into a coherent, purposeful direction. In this sense, it's not merely about self-restraint or adherence to external norms, but is fundamentally about self-overcoming, the process of transcending one's limitations, refining one's character, and achieving mastery over one's life. Nietzsche's idea of the Übermensch, or Overman, epitomizes this concept, representing an individual who has achieved a profound level of self-mastery and autonomy through the disciplined cultivation of their virtues and talents. Exploring the philosophical dimensions of this concept further, we delve into the ethical framework of Immanuel Kant, which presents discipline not merely as a practical tool for self-improvement, but as a moral imperative rooted in the concept of duty and moral law. Kantian ethics, with its rigorous emphasis on duty, autonomy, and the categorical imperative, offers a compelling perspective on this virtue as an ethical cornerstone of human action. For Kant, the concept of duty is central to moral action, asserting that actions are morally commendable when they are performed out of duty, rather than inclination or desire for personal gain. The categorical imperative, a key principle in Kant's moral philosophy, dictates that one should act only according to maxims that can be universally applied as a law. This principle underscores the universality and objectivity of moral law, elevating the role of discipline as essential for aligning personal actions with these universal moral principles. In this context, it becomes a conduit for the realization of moral law, guiding individuals to act out of a sense of duty rather than caprice or desire. Kantian ethics posits that true moral worth arises from controlled actions that are in harmony with moral law, irrespective of the outcomes those actions may produce. This view suggests that this virtue, when exercised as an expression of duty, transcends mere utility, embodying instead the inherent value of ethical action. The disciplined individual, from a Kantian perspective, is one who prioritizes duty over inclination, who acts not because of what they stand to gain, but because it is the right thing to do. This adherence to moral principles is what imbues actions with intrinsic value, reflecting a deep commitment to the ethical life. Moving from the deontological ethics of Kant to the virtue ethics of Aristotle, we encounter a different, yet complementary, view of discipline within the context of eudaimonia, or flourishing. Aristotle's concept of eudaimonia represents the highest good for human beings, achievable not through the pursuit of pleasure or the avoidance of pain, but through the practice of virtue. Discipline, in Aristotle's framework, is integral to this practice, serving as both the means and the manifestation of personal excellence. Aristotle argues that virtues are habits developed through consistent practice, requiring deliberate effort and ethical reflection. Discipline, therefore, is not merely about self-control or the suppression of desires, but about the cultivation of a character oriented towards the good. It is through this kind of virtuous action, guided by practical wisdom, that individuals can align their desires with virtuous ends, achieving a state of character excellence that contributes to a fulfilling and meaningful life. The role of this virtue in achieving eudaimonia is profound. It enables individuals to realize their potential not through external achievements or accolades, but through the development of virtues that constitute a well-lived life. Discipline, in this Aristotelian sense, is both the journey and the destination, a continuous process of self-improvement and ethical engagement that leads to the realization of one's highest self. It is the disciplined pursuit of virtue that allows individuals to navigate life's challenges with grace, to cultivate lasting relationships based on mutual respect and ethical values, and to contribute positively to the communities of which they are a part. As we draw our exploration to a close, we've journeyed through a rich landscape of insights, strategies, and philosophical wisdom surrounding the cultivation of discipline. From understanding the nuanced differences between motivation and discipline, to delving into the psychological underpinnings that fortify our resolve, we've uncovered the practical steps necessary for fostering an environment conducive to focused work and personal growth. The strategies we've discussed, from setting clear, achievable goals to minimizing distractions and managing our mental resources, are foundational to developing a robust framework for self-improvement. The philosophical teachings we've explored provide a deeper context, presenting self-control not just as a tool for achieving immediate goals, but as a pathway to living a meaningful and ethical life. Stoicism and the philosophies of Nietzsche remind us of the power of our responses to life's challenges, encouraging an assertive engagement with our circumstances. Kant's emphasis on moral duty and Aristotle's vision of flourishing through virtue ethics enrich our understanding of self-control as a cornerstone of a life well lived. Embarking on this journey requires no monumental leaps. Rather, it's the small, consistent steps that lead to profound changes. Begin where you are, with what you have, understanding that the path to mastering self-control is a process marked by gradual improvement and persistence. It's in the daily commitment to our goals, the routines we establish, and the mindfulness with which we approach our tasks that we find progress. Each day offers a new opportunity to practice, to learn, and to grow. As we move forward, let us embrace the challenges and setbacks not as barriers, but as stepping stones on the path to personal excellence. The journey is as much about developing resilience and adaptability as it is about achieving specific outcomes. The essence of self-improvement lies not in the magnitude of our actions, but in the consistency and intention behind them. In closing, let us reflect on the words of James Clear, who eloquently captures the essence of our discussions. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. This insight underscores the importance of the structures we put in place, the habits we cultivate, the routines we adhere to, and the mindset we nurture. It's these systems, grounded in the principles we've explored, that enable us to harness the true potential of self-control, transforming our aspirations into reality. As you step into the world, armed with the knowledge and strategies we've shared, remember that the journey of self-improvement is a marathon, not a sprint. Be patient with yourself, stay committed to your path, and let the discipline of your actions today be the foundation upon which you build a brighter, more fulfilling tomorrow. In the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invincible summer. Albert Camus. Picture this. It's late evening and the soft glow of your phone screen illuminates your face in the dim room. As you scroll through your social media feed, you're bombarded with images and stories of acquaintances, friends, and even strangers having the time of their lives. Parties, vacations, gatherings, each post a colorful testament to the fun they're having without you. With each swipe, a subtle weight settles in your chest, a nagging feeling that somehow, amidst your ordinary day, life is happening elsewhere, and you're missing out on it. This phenomenon has a name, one that's become all too familiar in our digital age, FOMO, or the fear of missing out. It's the anxiety that stirs within us when we see someone else experiencing something we're not, fueled by the endless showcase of life's highlight reels on social media platforms. This fear isn't just about social events. It extends to experiences, achievements, and lifestyles. It's the dread of falling behind, of not living to the fullest, of missing opportunities that everyone else seems to be seizing. But what if we've got it all wrong? What if, in our relentless pursuit of being everywhere, doing everything, we're missing out on something far more valuable? This is where we flip the script on FOMO, turning our gaze inward to the hidden treasure of JOMO, or the joy of missing out. It's not about isolating oneself or shunning society. It's about embracing solitude and finding contentment and joy in being alone with oneself. It's about recognizing that missing out, intentionally, can be a path to personal growth, deeper self-awareness, and ultimately, a more fulfilling life. This concept takes us back to the essence of what it means to be truly alive. It's about quality, not quantity, of experiences, relationships, and moments. It's about slowing down, disconnecting from the incessant buzz of the digital world, and reconnecting with our inner selves. In solitude, we find space to breathe, to think, to feel deeply. We discover parts of ourselves that remain hidden in the noise of constant social engagement. Solitude allows for reflection, creativity, and a deeper appreciation for the moments and people that truly matter. In today's society, where the pressure to be socially active and constantly connected is immense, choosing solitude and the joy of missing out is a radical act. It's a declaration that we are enough, that our worth isn't measured by how full our social calendars are, or how many experiences we can cram into our lives. Instead, it's measured by the depth of our experiences, the quality of our connections, and our ability to find peace and happiness within ourselves. This transition towards embracing this idea isn't just a personal journey, it's a cultural shift. It's about changing the narrative from one of scarcity, of constantly needing more to be happy, to one of abundance, where we recognize the wealth of joy available in each moment we choose to be present for. It's a shift from seeking happiness in external validation to finding it in internal fulfillment. We'll explore the philosophical underpinnings of solitude, the benefits of embracing alone time, and practical ways to incorporate it into our lives. We'll look at how detaching from the digital world through regular digital detoxes can enhance our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. We'll discover how, by reclaiming our time and attention, we can lead richer, more intentional lives. The journey from FOMO to JOMO is not about renouncing the world, but about engaging with it more meaningfully. It's about choosing experiences that resonate with our deepest selves, rather than chasing every opportunity that comes our way. It's about finding joy in the path less traveled, the quiet moments and the space between. To understand the phenomenon of FOMO, or the fear of missing out, we must delve into its psychological underpinnings. FOMO is rooted in several core psychological triggers: social anxiety, comparison, and a pervasive sense of lacking or insufficiency. These elements, combined with the unique pressures of modern life, create a fertile ground for FOMO to flourish. Social anxiety in this context is not merely about the fear of social interactions, but extends to a broader worry about one's place within their social circle and the world at large. It's the fear that by not participating in certain activities or events, one might lose connection with their peers or fall out of sync with what is perceived as the social norm. This form of anxiety feeds into the fear that one's social bonds may weaken or that they'll be perceived as less interesting or engaging by their peers. The comparison is another critical factor. Humans by nature have a tendency to measure their lives against those of others. This instinct, while not inherently negative, can lead to feelings of inadequacy when fueled by the endless barrage of curated success and happiness seen on social media. The digital age has transformed comparison from a sporadic and mostly manageable experience into a constant, overwhelming presence. Every scroll through social media feeds presents a new opportunity to measure one's life against others, often leading to the mistaken belief that everyone else is leading a more exciting, fulfilling life. A sense of lacking or insufficiency emerges as the inevitable consequence of social anxiety and constant comparison. It's the feeling that one's life is somehow incomplete or deficient compared to others. This sense of lacking drives the pursuit of more experiences, more social connections, more achievements. Yet this pursuit often leads not to fulfillment but to a deeper feeling of emptiness, as the root cause is not a genuine desire for these experiences, but a fear of being left out or behind. Modern technology, particularly social media, plays a significant role in amplifying these feelings of missing out. The platforms are designed to keep users engaged, feeding them a constant stream of content that highlights the most exciting aspects of people's lives. Rarely do people share the mundane, the difficult, or the unglamorous aspects of their lives on these platforms. Instead, social media is a highlight reel, showing only the peaks without the valleys. This skewed representation can warp our perception of normal life, making our own experiences seem dull by comparison. The design of social media platforms, with their algorithms that prioritize engaging or sensational content, exacerbates the issue. These platforms are not passive, they actively shape what we see, often pushing content that they predict will elicit strong emotional responses. This can create a feedback loop where the more we engage with content that triggers FOMO, the more such content is presented to us, further deepening the cycle. Moreover, the instantaneity and ubiquity of digital connections mean that we're never truly off. There's always a new post, a new story, a new update. The digital world is relentless, offering no respite for reflection or contentment with one's own life. Instead, it fosters a pervasive sense of urgency, a need to constantly check and update to avoid falling behind. In this digital landscape, this fear thrives. It feeds on the comparison, the sense of lacking, and the social anxiety that modern technology amplifies. But recognizing these roots is the first step toward overcoming this terrible fear. By understanding the psychological mechanisms at play, we can begin to untangle ourselves from the web of constant comparison and anxiety over missing out. We can start to see social media for what it often is, a distorted mirror that reflects not the fullness of life, but a carefully curated illusion. The journey away from FOMO involves a conscious effort to disconnect from these triggers, to reassess our relationship with social media, and to find value in our own unfiltered lives. It requires us to embrace the moments of solitude, the quiet, the mundane, as not only necessary but enriching. The philosophical exploration of solitude has a rich and varied history, with thinkers from various epochs and cultures highlighting its value for personal growth, self-awareness, and deeper connection with the world. To understand the depth and breadth of its significance, we turn to the perspectives of some of the most influential philosophers, including Henry David Thoreau and the Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, who have articulated the profound benefits of embracing this concept. Henry David Thoreau, a 19th-century American philosopher, naturalist, and author, is perhaps best known for his experiment in simple living documented in his masterpiece, Walden. Thoreau embarked on a 2-year, 2-month, and 2-day sojourn in a cabin he built near Walden Pond, amidst the woods of Massachusetts. This period of living deliberately away from society allowed him to reflect deeply on human life, society, and our relationship with nature. Thoreau's profound engagement with solitude is encapsulated in his famous assertion, "I never found a companion that was so companionable as solitude." This statement reflects Thoreau's belief that solitude does not equate to loneliness. Rather, it offers a unique companionship found only in the quiet of being alone, a space where one can truly connect with their own thoughts and the natural world around them. Thoreau saw this concept as essential to understanding oneself and living authentically. It provided him the clarity to critique the societal conventions of his time and advocate for a life that prioritizes personal integrity, mindfulness, and a deep appreciation for the natural world. Turning to the Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, we find a philosophical tradition that also extols the virtues of being alone, albeit from a different angle. The Stoics, ancient philosophers who flourished in Greece and Rome, taught the importance of virtue, reason, and self-control. For them, it was not merely a physical state but a mental and emotional discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, in his Meditations, frequently emphasized the significance of retreating into one's own mind to find peace and clarity. He advocated for moments of loneliness as opportunities for self-reflection and personal growth. In his writings, he notes, "People seek retreats for themselves, houses in the country, seashores and mountains, but this is altogether a mark of the most common sort of men, for it is in your power whenever you shall choose to retire into yourself." For Aurelius, true solitude was the ability to find a retreat within oneself, irrespective of one's physical surroundings. This inner quietness was crucial for maintaining equanimity amidst the chaos of life and for cultivating a life in accordance with reason and virtue. The Stoics viewed it as a time for self-reflection and personal growth, and it complements Thoreau's emphasis on this idea as a means to connect with nature and oneself. Both perspectives underscore the transformative power of this idea in fostering a deeper understanding of oneself and the world. The Stoics, through their emphasis on reason and self-control, and Thoreau, through his experiential connection with nature, both arrive at the conclusion that solitude is not merely a state to be endured, but a condition to be sought after for its enriching and clarifying potential. These philosophical traditions invite us to reconsider our modern aversion to being alone. In an age where constant connectivity is often celebrated, and quietness is frequently misunderstood as isolation or loneliness, the thoughts of Thoreau and the Stoics offer a counter-narrative. They remind us that it can be a source of strength, insight, and connection. It is in this quietness that we can confront our thoughts, challenge our assumptions, and cultivate the virtues that lead to a fulfilling life. Solitude, as these philosophers teach us, is not an escape from the world, but a deeper engagement with it, providing the silence and space necessary to hear our own voice and the whispers of the world around us. The philosophical appreciation of loneliness as a means towards self-discovery and personal growth offers a compelling alternative to the pervasive fear of missing out. It suggests that what we often fear missing out on may be superficial and fleeting compared to the profound insights and growth that can come from turning inward. By embracing this idea, we can find a companionable presence within ourselves, a sanctuary for reflection and renewal. This perspective does not diminish the value of social connections or experiences. but places them within a larger context of a life lived with intention and authenticity. In doing so, it invites us to balance our engagement with the world with periods of solitude, where we can cultivate the inner resources necessary for a life of purpose and meaning. Embracing solitude offers a myriad of benefits that span the cognitive, emotional, and spiritual dimensions of our lives. These benefits are not merely anecdotal, they are increasingly supported by scientific research, which provides a robust framework for understanding how it can enhance our well-being and capacity for creative and critical thinking. One of the most significant cognitive benefits of solitude is enhanced focus. In a world saturated with information and distractions, the ability to focus is more valuable than ever. It offers a reprieve from the constant barrage of notifications and demands on our attention, allowing our minds to reset and refocus. Research in the field of cognitive psychology has demonstrated that periods of loneliness can improve concentration and productivity. For instance, a study published in the journal Nature highlighted how uninterrupted quietness is crucial for deep thought and the synthesis of complex information. The quiet and detachment from social and digital stimuli provide the mental space necessary for engaging in focused work and for integrating new knowledge. Creativity is another cognitive benefit closely linked to this concept. This creativity link has been explored in various studies, suggesting that it provides the necessary conditions for creative thought to flourish. One mechanism through which solitude enhances creativity is by fostering what psychologists call incubation. Incubation refers to a period of rest or distraction from a problem, allowing unconscious processes to contribute to creative problem solving. Additionally, it encourages divergent thinking, a style of thinking that allows new ideas to be generated freely without the constraints of peer judgment or external criticism. A seminal paper in the Journal of Creative Behavior outlines how it contributes to higher creativity scores, positing that solitude acts as a catalyst for the free exploration of ideas and the construction of novel connections between concepts. On the emotional front, it offers profound benefits such as increased self-awareness, emotional regulation, and resilience. Self-awareness grows in moments of isolation because it provides the space for introspection. Without the influence of external opinions and behaviors, individuals can better understand their own emotions, motivations, and desires. This introspective process is crucial for personal development and emotional maturity. A study from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that individuals who regularly engage in introspective solitude report higher levels of self-esteem and lower levels of anxiety compared to those who avoid it. Emotional regulation, the ability to manage and respond to one's emotions in a healthy way, is also enhanced by embracing moments of isolation. It provides the time to process emotions, reflect on emotional responses, and practice coping strategies without external pressures. This ability to sit with and work through emotions contributes to emotional resilience, equipping individuals to handle stress and adversity more effectively. Research in the field of psychology supports this, demonstrating that solitude can aid in the development of coping skills and emotional resilience by providing a quiet space for emotional processing and recovery. Spiritually, it offers the opportunity for meditation, mindfulness, and the exploration of one's purpose in life. Meditation and mindfulness practices are deeply rooted in traditions that value solitude as a path to spiritual enlightenment and self-realization. Contemporary research has shown that meditation and mindfulness can lead to significant improvements in mental health, stress reduction, and overall well-being. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of Psychiatric Practice concludes that mindfulness meditation, often practiced in isolation, can have robust effects in treating symptoms of anxiety and depression, as well as improving general psychological well-being. Furthermore, it can be a fertile ground for exploring and finding one's purpose. Away from the noise and demands of everyday life, individuals can reflect on their values, aspirations, and the impact they wish to have on the world. This process of self-discovery and reflection can lead to a more purpose-driven life, imbued with a sense of clarity and direction. The existential philosophers have long argued for the necessity of being alone in confronting the fundamental questions of existence, and contemporary psychological research echoes this, linking a strong sense of purpose to higher levels of life satisfaction and well-being. The cognitive, emotional, and spiritual benefits of embracing this concept are multifaceted and profound. Supported by both philosophical insights and scientific research, it emerges as a vital component of a well-rounded, fulfilling life. It enhances our ability to focus, boosts creativity, facilitates emotional growth, and provides a space for spiritual exploration. As we navigate the complexities of the modern world, the intentional pursuit of solitude can serve as a powerful tool for personal development and well-being. Embracing solitude in a world that often equates being alone with loneliness or unproductivity can seem daunting. However, the journey towards integrating practical isolation into our lives can be transformative, offering profound benefits for our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. To embark on this journey, it is essential to approach it with intention and openness. Here are practical tips for integrating this concept into your daily life, fostering an environment where you can thrive in your moments alone. Start small. Dedicate a few moments each day to solitude. The practice of embracing solitude need not begin with grand gestures or extensive periods of isolation. Instead, start small. Dedicate a few moments each day to be alone with your thoughts, free from the distractions of the outside world. This could be as simple as spending 5 minutes in the morning with your coffee, without the intrusion of your phone or other devices. It's about carving out intentional spaces in your day for this kind of isolation, even if brief. These moments provide a foundation upon which you can build a more profound relationship with this idea, gradually increasing the time as you become more comfortable and find value in these periods of quiet reflection. Create a ritual: reading, writing, walking in nature. One way to deepen your experience of solitude is to create rituals around it. Activities that signal to your mind and body that this time is different, sacred even. These rituals could involve reading, writing, or walking in nature. Reading in isolation allows you to immerse yourself in other worlds and ideas, sparking creativity and reflection. Writing, whether journaling about your day or exploring your thoughts on paper, provides a means to process emotions and clarify your thoughts. Walking in nature, free from the pull of technology, can help ground you in the present moment, fostering a sense of peace and connection to the world around you. Disconnect to reconnect. Limit social media and technology use. In our hyper-connected world, one of the most significant barriers to embracing this concept is the constant presence of technology and social media. These tools, while offering undeniable benefits, can also perpetuate feelings of FOMO and distract us from the value of spending time alone. To truly embrace it, it is crucial to disconnect intentionally, to set boundaries around your use of technology. This might mean designating certain times of the day as tech-free, turning off notifications, or having tech-free zones in your home. The goal is to limit the noise that technology can bring into our lives, creating space for silence and reflection. By disconnecting from the digital world, we open the door to reconnecting with ourselves, our thoughts, and the world around us in a more meaningful way. Reflect. Use isolation for self-reflection and journaling. This idea offers a unique opportunity for self-reflection, a time to turn inward and explore our thoughts, feelings, and aspirations. Journaling is a powerful tool in this process, providing a tangible way to capture our reflections, work through challenges, and celebrate successes. The act of writing can help clarify thoughts and emotions that might be muddled or confusing when left unexpressed. Furthermore, journaling in moments of isolation allows for a level of honesty and vulnerability with oneself that can be difficult to achieve in other contexts. Through reflection and journaling, solitude becomes not just a time to be alone, but a time to grow and learn about oneself. Embrace boredom. Let your mind wander and see where it takes you. In our always-on culture, boredom is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs. Yet embracing boredom can be incredibly beneficial, especially in the context of solitude. Allowing your mind to wander without a specific goal or distraction can lead to bursts of creativity, problem-solving, and introspection. Boredom, in the absence of constant stimulation, forces our minds to engage in a kind of neural default mode, where we can make unexpected connections, generate new ideas, and reflect on our lives in a broader context. By embracing boredom, we allow ourselves the freedom to explore the vast landscape of our inner thoughts and feelings, often leading to insights and inspirations that would remain inaccessible in a perpetually distracted state. Incorporating these practices into your life can transform solitude from a state to be avoided into a cherished and productive time. The journey towards embracing this concept is personal and evolving, requiring patience and intention. However, the rewards of this journey are immeasurable, leading to enhanced creativity, emotional well-being, and a deeper understanding of oneself and one's place in the world. By starting small, creating rituals, disconnecting from technology, reflecting through journaling, and embracing boredom, you can unlock the profound benefits this idea has to offer, turning what was once feared into a source of strength and inspiration. In an era where our lives are increasingly mediated by screens, the concept of a digital detox has emerged as a crucial counterbalance. It refers to a designated period during which an individual intentionally refrains from using electronic devices such as smartphones, computers, and tablets. The primary aim of this practice is to reduce stress, enhance focus on social interactions in the physical world, and reconnect with oneself and one's environment, free from the constant pull of digital notifications and the glow of screens. The necessity for digital detoxes stems from the overwhelming digital consumption that characterizes modern life. This relentless engagement with these devices has profound implications for our mental health and the quality of our social relationships. The constant availability of information and the perpetual presence of social networks can lead to information overload, a state where the sheer volume of data exceeds our cognitive ability to process it. This overload not only contributes to stress and anxiety but also detracts from our ability to engage in meaningful social interactions, diminishing the quality of our relationships. The negative effects of excessive screen time and social media use are well documented. Studies and statistics have consistently demonstrated that prolonged exposure to screens can lead to decreased attention spans, disrupted sleep patterns, and increased feelings of loneliness and depression. For instance, research published in the Journal of Abnormal Psychology links excessive screen time with symptoms of depression and anxiety, especially among adolescents. Another study from the Journal of Sleep Research highlights how screen use before bedtime can disrupt sleep patterns, leading to poorer sleep quality and shorter sleep duration. These findings underscore the tangible impacts of digital overload on our well-being. From a philosophical standpoint, the concept of technological determinism offers a lens through which to view the influence of digital devices on our lives. This theory suggests that technology shapes society and its cultural values, often in ways that we do not fully recognize. Our tools, from the plow to the smartphone, have not only changed how we interact with the world, but have also transformed our social structures, our ways of thinking, and our sense of self. In the context of digital technology, this means that our devices are not merely tools, but actors that fundamentally alter our experience of time, space, and relationships. Engaging in a digital detox can lead to a myriad of benefits. Improved mental health is one of the most significant advantages, with many individuals reporting reductions in anxiety and depression symptoms after periods of digital abstinence. This improvement is often attributed to the decreased pressure to constantly be available online and the reduced exposure to stress-inducing content. Increased productivity and creativity are also notable benefits. With fewer distractions from notifications and the endless scroll of social media, individuals can focus more effectively on tasks and engage more deeply in creative pursuits. This enhanced focus can lead to more significant accomplishments and a greater sense of satisfaction with one's work. Physically, a digital detox can lead to better sleep patterns and more time for physical activity. Without the blue light from screens disrupting our circadian rhythms, sleep quality can improve, leading to enhanced overall health. Additionally, the time reclaimed from screen use can be redirected towards physical activities, further benefiting one's health. Perhaps most importantly, digital detoxes can strengthen real-life relationships. By reducing the interference of these devices, individuals can engage more fully and meaningfully with others, enhancing the quality of these connections and fostering a greater sense of community and belonging. To embark on a successful digital detox, setting clear goals is crucial. Whether the aim is to have more time for hobbies, improve sleep, or strengthen relationships, having specific objectives can provide direction and motivation. Adopting a gradual approach to detoxing can also be effective. Starting with short periods of detox and gradually increasing the duration can make the process more manageable and less daunting. Creating tech-free zones in one's home, such as bedrooms or dining areas, can help establish boundaries for device use, while finding alternatives to screen time, such as reading, engaging in outdoor activities, or spending time with loved ones, can fill the void left by these devices with enriching experiences. Mindfulness and reflection are also key components of a digital detox. Using the time gained to engage in self-reflection, meditation, or journaling can help individuals reconnect with their inner selves and clarify their values and aspirations. Integrating these practices into daily life as a sustainable approach rather than a one-off event can lead to lasting benefits. Regularly assessing and adjusting one's digital consumption habits can help maintain a healthy balance between the online and offline worlds. A digital detox offers a pathway to reclaiming our time and attention from the demands of the digital world. By intentionally stepping away from our devices, we can improve our mental and physical health, enhance our productivity and creativity, strengthen our relationships, and reconnect with our deeper selves. In the quest to rebrand solitude, it's essential to shift the narrative from solitude being a state of being alone, often laden with negative connotations, to a chosen path of meaningful engagement with oneself. This rebranding involves challenging deeply ingrained societal perceptions that equate solitude with loneliness, isolation, or even social rejection. Instead, it should be celebrated as a valuable opportunity for introspection, creativity, and personal growth. It's a time to reconnect with oneself, to listen to one's thoughts and feelings without the distraction of constant social interaction or digital connectivity. This perspective transforms it from a condition to be avoided into a cherished and sought-after state, where the absence of others is not a void, but a space filled with potential for self-discovery and renewal. The rebranding of solitude is not without precedent. History is replete with individuals who have extolled the virtues of this kind of isolation and demonstrated its enriching effects on the human spirit. Consider the words of Albert Einstein, who said, "I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity." For Einstein, it was not just a personal preference, but a crucial ingredient in his intellectual work, providing him the space to ponder the mysteries of the universe. The joy and fulfillment found in moments of isolation are not despite being alone, but because of it. The solitude these individuals describe is not a barren landscape, but a fertile ground for the mind and spirit, where the silence outside mirrors the depth of exploration within. It is in these moments that one can hear the whispers of creativity, where one can wrestle with complex emotions and emerge stronger, and where one can connect with a sense of purpose that guides one's actions in the world. Rebranding solitude requires us to challenge our own perceptions and to question the societal narratives that paint it in a negative light. It invites us to explore this concept not as a state of deprivation, but as an opportunity for enrichment. This does not mean that social connections are not important. Humans are inherently social beings, and our relationships with others are a vital source of joy and support. However, by integrating periods of isolation into our lives, we can cultivate a deeper relationship with ourselves, which in turn can enhance our interactions with others. This idea, when embraced, can be a powerful tool for self-reflection. It allows us to pause and consider our life's direction, to reassess our goals and values, and to make changes that align more closely with our true selves. This process of self-reflection can lead to greater self-awareness, which is the cornerstone of emotional intelligence. With increased self-awareness, we can navigate our relationships with more empathy and understanding, and we can make choices that are more congruent with our inner beliefs and desires. The challenge, then, is to rebrand solitude in our own lives, to seek out and cherish those moments of isolation, and to see them as precious opportunities for growth and self-discovery. This rebranding can begin with small steps, setting aside time each day for quiet reflection, engaging in activities that nourish the soul, or simply spending time in nature away from the hustle and bustle of daily life. Over time, these moments can become a cherished part of our routine, a sanctuary where we can recharge and reconnect with what matters most. In rebranding this concept, we also open the door to a more balanced life where action and reflection go hand in hand, where the noise of the world is balanced by the quiet of the soul, and where our connections with others are deepened by our connection with ourselves. This rebranded solitude is not a retreat from the world, but a deeper engagement with it, armed with a clearer sense of who we are and what we value. Thus, this journey is both a personal and a collective challenge. It requires us to confront our fears and prejudices about being alone, to explore the depths of our own solitude, and to share our discoveries with others. By doing so, we can shift the cultural narrative around solitude, turning it from a state to be feared into a state to be revered. As we journey through the landscapes of solitude and the joy of missing out, we've uncovered the transformative power that lies in stepping back from a world that never stops. In a society that glorifies perpetual busyness and constant connectivity, choosing moments of isolation represents a radical act of self-care and self-discovery. It's a deliberate choice to engage deeply with oneself, to listen to the whispers of one's inner voice, and to embrace the fullness of life away from the din of societal expectations. The joy of missing out, far from being a passive resignation to loneliness, is an active engagement with the world in a more intentional, meaningful way. It's about finding beauty in the quiet moments, wisdom in stillness, and strength in solitude. This journey invites us to reconsider what it means to be truly connected, not just to others, but to ourselves, our desires, and our dreams. In redefining success and happiness on our own terms, we challenge the narratives that have been handed down to us. We reject the notion that our worth is measured by how busy we are, how much we achieve, or how visible our lives are on social media. Instead, we assert that true success is found in the depth of our experiences, the quality of our relationships, and the authenticity of our lives. Happiness, then, becomes not a destination to be reached through external validation, but a path to be walked with intention and awareness. As we conclude this exploration, I encourage you to embark on your own journey into solitude. Let the quiet be your teacher and the stillness your guide. Allow yourself to get lost in the quiet, for it is in getting lost that we often find ourselves. The path may not always be easy, and the silence may at times feel uncomfortable, but the treasures to be found in solitude are worth every step. Remember, the world will always demand more of your time, your energy, and your attention. But it is up to you to choose how you engage with the world and on what terms. Make space for quietness in your life, not as an escape from the world, but as a way to live more fully within it. Embrace the joy of missing out as an opportunity to connect with what truly matters, to recharge your spirit, and to cultivate a life of purpose and meaning. As you move forward, carry with you the knowledge that this concept is not the absence of life, but a deeper immersion into it. Know that in the quiet moments, you are not alone, but in the company of your deepest self. And in those moments, may you find the clarity, peace, and inspiration to live your life with courage, compassion, and authenticity. So, let us not fear the quiet, nor the solitude that brings us face to face with ourselves. Instead, let us embrace it as the gift that it is, a path to discovering the richness of our own depths, a chance to breathe deeply and to live genuinely. The most profound journeys often begin with a single step away from the noise and into the silence.